everyone. You are watching Vedgecation. I'm your host, Leiah.
I'm your host, Brit, and today we are talking about water.
That sounds very strange.
That's how it sounds when I drink water. Blah, 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 blah. I drink it like it's going out of style.
She drinks it like my mini poodle.
We're talking about water and we're talking about supplements. Mm-hmm. Very excited. I'm very excited for I say that every time, but it's always true.
Well, as long as we keep that excitement as I tell you things that scare you, we're in good shape.
I'm either going to be real excited or poop my pants. One of the two.
Not on camera, please.
No, I always wait until break. I'm a lady.
We don't own these chairs.
Okay, so we're going to get into water. Mm-hmm. What are we going to talk about later on today?
Yeah, we're really going to talk about how to check for your water, if you're not using a filtration system at home. And then also, we talk about our drinking water a lot. Mm-hmm. But where's another area in our house that we utilize water a lot that we don't think about that we're getting a lot of contaminants daily?
Showering, if you shower daily, mm-hmm. which no judgment if you don't. I feel you, because sometimes I skip a day.
Not yesterday, though.
Not yesterday. I'm going to be real. It was during the pandemic, and I wasn't going anywhere anyway.
Well, thank you for being honest.
You're welcome.
You'll
get to please.
Nothing but honesty on this show.
And at the end of the day, you appreciate it. We know you do. You tell us in the comments. You slide in our DMs. We love you for that.
Yes. And supplements, we're going to touch on those as well. I'm going to tell you exactly what to look out for if you are buying a supplement from the store, why I think buying directly from a company may be a lot better,
yes.
and what to avoid. So we will be right back with some more water
and Vedgecation. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, you are watching Vedgecation with Leiah and Brit. And today, like we said, we are getting into your water. And we're going to talk about first the water that you're drinking. Now, in another episode, we had talked about EWG, the Environmental Working Group.
Yes.
.ewg.org. Their website is awesome. I feel like a kid in a candy store when I go there because I think I'm going to spend a minute and I end up spending like 15, 20 minutes because I can't leave. The information is so intriguing.
Yes.
But on their website, they have a water database. Mm-hmm. Coach Leiah.
Yes.
What the heck is on the water database?
So it's an area that you can actually go put in the zip code, find the utility service that services your water.
Yes.
And check out the contaminants that EWG view as exceeding what they think is safe. Now keep in mind our legal limits for contaminants in tap water have not changed for 20 years.
Now, you remember that movie with Julia Roberts where she didn't play a lawyer, but she worked in a lawyer's office?
Absolutely.
And the people were getting sick because the water was contaminated?
Erin Brockovich?
Erin Brockovich, yes, that movie. That was obviously based on a true story. Mm-hmm. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, that was within the last 20 years, right?
Correct.
So that would mean that the laws that were in place when their water was contaminated back when Erin Brockovich, that situation happened, we still have those same laws today?
Yes.
Well, what a scary reality.
Very scary.
Okay.
And also, again, so we're not going to sit and bask in the negativity.
No. We're going to find a solution.
We're going to find a solution. First, looking at how bad your water is. That way it might scare you into buying a filter, doing some things a little bit differently.
Yes.
I want to go over, a lot of people use their fridge filter. They might use another really popular one that is very cheap.
Brita?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Brita. Always forget their name because I don't use them, but I know a lot of people do.
I'm sorry that you forget me.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So, again, we're not here to judge if you do and can only afford to get a Brita water filter. Anything is better than nothing.
Yeah.
My top two filters that I love on the market right now is going to be the Berkey. My family has the travel Berkey because there's only 2 people drinking. If I had a family, I would definitely go with the family size Berkey.
Okay.
It's Berkey. And then the second one is going to be AquaTrue. That one's going to be reverse osmosis, a little bit different than the Berkey. It's my second option, but you know, both are really, really good options. The
Now,
thing
is there a reason, I'm sorry, Leiah, but is there a reason that Berkey is the one that you prefer?
Yeah, so again, AquaTrue sits in plastic. Not a fan of that. You know I don't love plastic.
Yes, you're a glass
Berkey,
girl because you're classy.
definitely more of a glass. Berkey is in metal.
Okay.
So, and they use a carbon filter, which is going to be different than the reverse osmosis. So one thing to note is when you're stripping your water, you know, zero water is another filter that I've had before. Loved the taste of my water. It basically takes all contaminants out, brings it back to zero.
Okay.
The only problem with that is we're not getting any minerals. So as you are using filtered water,
Right.
we want to be adding minerals back in there. My favorite minerals to just drop into your water is going to be microbe formulas.
Okay.
So you can go on their website, just type in there. They have 69 different plant minerals in a dropper. It'll last you forever.
Okay, awesome. So you can filter your tap water. Now, some people buy bottled water. And I'm really curious because I've seen those videos where they test the water in each bottle and like this brand's better than that brand. Is bottled water filtered? Does it come filtered? Is it better to do spring? Do you have a brand that you prefer if you have to do bottled water?
Yeah, first of all, it's not even about the filtration system for me at this point. It's about the fact that it's coming in plastic, right?
Yeah.
And I just don't love that. You know, so many babies are being born with plastic already in their system because we're just consuming, every time you drink bottled water, you're consuming a certain amount of plastic because that water is sitting in that plastic.
Oh, jeez.
So if you can, my favorite bottled water on the market, which comes in glass, is Mountain Valley Spring Water. Has some minerals in it already. Tastes amazing. So if you guys are out somewhere and you see that, that is always Coach Leiah approved.
I have a question. So Voss water comes in a glass. Because of that, would you say that that's better? Or?
I would always say to get it in glass or cardboard over plastic.
So boxed water, which is kind of, I feel
New.
like that's trendy and new.
Yep.
That you would prefer over.
I would definitely prefer that over plastic.
Okay. So water filtration systems, we talked about that. Let's maybe get into like how much water we should be drinking a day. And then like, for example, you know, what counts as your water? Like, is it just only drinking pure water, or is it like, what if I'm drinking tea or eating a cucumber? That has a lot of water in it.
Yeah, so you want to aim for half your body weight in ounces.
Okay.
And I always say that's a starting point. For most active people, 80 to 100 ounces is going to be great.
Okay.
For someone who's working out and sweating consistently, maybe somebody who does Bikram yoga, right, who's going to sweat a ton. You know, maybe somebody is training for a marathon, they're sweating a lot, then you're going to probably take in even more than that. In the summer, your numbers are going to be higher than in the winter, right? Because you're going to be sweating a lot more.
Yeah.
Tea, even uncaffeinated or decaffeinated tea, is still going to be a little bit of a diuretic. So I don't really count water with tea.
Okay.
Definitely not going to count it with coffee, alcohol.
course.
All of those things are going to dehydrate you
Even
as well.
juice that like the number one ingredient is water, like technically you can't count that as your daily water.
You could, but I err on the side of like more is better.
Yeah.
So if you have juice, just have some more water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Water is hard to drink. Do you have any tips or like recommendations for how to get in that required amount of water each day?
Honestly, I think my favorite tip is get a bottle with your goal, right? So if your goal is 65 ounces, get a 65 ounce bottle, because the only thing you have to focus on is filling it up once in the morning and drinking it until it's gone.
That's smart.
When you are trying to add up, I had 6 divided by 2, and then I took 1 over here,
me.
you are setting yourself up to fail.
Yeah.
So whether it's 100 ounces, 65 ounces, make it easy, make it really simple, and make it accessible.
I like that.
There's a lot of bottles that you can buy that will have, you know, fruit at the top, water at the bottom, so it infuses into your water, which I think tastes
that's cool.
delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are some options out there. I don't usually recommend the fake sugar, artificial flavor water, but again, if that's what you need to do for a starting point, that's okay.
Okay, awesome. So we've got a little bit more about water for you when we come back on Vedgecation. Thanks for staying tuned into Vedgecation. We are talking about your water. We talked about the water that you drink, but what about the water that you use for everything else? And we didn't talk about your refrigerators. So some refrigerators come with filtration systems. I know we touched on that. But one thing that I wanted to ask you is, What about ice? How do you know if your ice is tap water ice, frozen tap water, or if it's filtered?
If you have a newer fridge, so most of the new fridges, all of their ice is going to go through that filtration system, so you're fine. But if you are filling your ice cube trays, like a lot of us did back in the day, I know I filled my fair share and still fill some because my husband loves those big whiskey balls, and we don't have the new fancy fridge yet that makes them. So I definitely
that make whiskey ball ice.
Yes, girl, it is on my bucket list.
A fancy schmancy
Fridge
life goal.
Yeah,
I love it.
you just drop it in your cup.
So if the fridge itself comes with a filtration system, then you can trust that the ice that's produced by the fridge is also filtered. Now,
Absolutely.
if the fridge produces the ice, but there's no filtration system, it's just frozen tap water.
Correct.
And so if you've gone to the EWG website, you know what's in the water because now we have made you aware.
We've pointed it out.
Yes. So, okay, what about water for cooking? When you make your soups or whatever it is that you're using your water for, do you use it straight from the tap? Do you recommend using your filtered water? What do you think?
Yeah, so again, even if I'm making a smoothie, I'm always going over and using the Berkey water.
Okay.
It is a challenge, right? Because you have to fill the Berkey and then empty, right? So if it is empty and you're going to cook and you're like,
oh, you have to wait for it to filter.
You
obviously.
have to wait for it to filter, so that can be a little strenuous.
Procrastinators, just don't
Yes.
wait to the last minute.
But one of the things you can do is buy some distilled water to have on hand.
Okay.
And then you could cook with that
Okay.
instead of waiting.
Now, we use water for other things too, right? Not just for cooking. When we talked about showering.
Yes.
So tell me, because this is not anything that I would ever think about, the water we absorb in our skin, like how that affects our body.
But what's the largest organ on our body?
It would be the skin, Coach.
Correct. So where do you think we're taking the most contaminants from water?
Probably when we take a bath or a shower.
And how many showers did
Or
you
when the
take
water
yesterday?
from the toilet splashes up. If that's ever happened, you're absorbing some things there.
For sure. How many showers did you take yesterday?
2.
Correct. So
Oh, man.
Yes.
Sometimes I don't love when you bring me into my reality.
So my favorite filter on the market, we're going to put up right here, but it's Pristine Hydro. They have an amazing shower filter.
Okay.
It's going to filtrate everything out. And everyone that I've switched over to a water filter, their skin's better. Their hair's better. Everything is better. And they notice a huge difference from it when they go other places and have to shower in non-filtered. Just like if somebody had hard water and now they have soft water, they're going to notice a huge difference as well.
What about hand washing? Does it make a big deal if you wash your hands with filtered or not filtered water?
I mean, you don't want to be completely crazy, right? Because we want to live our life.
You don't want to filter every sink in the house.
Yes. But I would say on average, people probably overwash their hands, right? So we want to build up a really good bacteria here. And, with everything that we've gone through with the pandemic and everyone was using hand sanitizers and, harsh antibacterial, well, you want bacteria. You want to be able to fight off those things that you're coming into contact with. And if you're killing all your good and bad bacteria, you're left with negatives.
Okay. When you talked about the shower filters, tell me the brand again because I forgot.
Berkey?
No, the shower water filter.
Oh, shower.
Yes.
Pristine Hydro.
Pristine Hydro.
Yes.
So for someone like myself, balling on a budget,
Yes.
is that something where you have to call in your local handyman and he has to install it, or is it something that's easy for you to
No.
install? How does it work?
Yeah, it can be really easy for you. I mean, if you're married,
Tell your husband to do it,
or your partner,
or your wife.
or your wife, whichever one is the handiest. Or this would be a really amazing thing. I always know for me, I love to call in a good handyman if Jay's taking too long. So I'm like, how can I spend some more money?
Yes.
Call them in, but it's really, really easy and it's pretty affordable. I think it's less than $200, so it's not going to break the bank either, which I love.
Okay, and I would assume they're long lasting because when I think about a water filter, my mind goes to filtering the water that you drink.
Yes.
I don't know what the capacity is for a shower filter.
Yeah, so it's about a year, depending on how bad your water is. But again, there are some areas, some places that are going to have worse water. You're going to go through it more quickly.
Yeah.
I think about our air doctor, which I know we're going to talk about filtering your air in your house.
Yeah.
We'll have a whole episode coming up on that. But when I think about my air doctor and the filter already went out, Jay was like, this was supposed to last for blah, blah, blah. but I'm like, it's doing its job.
Yeah.
You don't want to get mad at it for doing its job.
Can I just tell you, when you first talked about your air doctor, I had never heard of one. And I literally thought this woman had an actual human doctor who like came into her house and like tested her air and was like having consults with her about whether her air in her home was good quality or bad quality.
That is life goals for me to have my own air doctor. Can you please check this room before I enter?
So an air doctor is an air filtration unit, not a person.
And it is a mobile one, which is nice because you can move it throughout your house if you're working in your office, bedroom at night. I highly recommend it for kids, especially kids who have allergies and really, really struggle.
Okay, nice. Awesome. So we got into a lot of topics about water.
Definitely.
As always, I learned a ton. We're going to take a little break, but when we get back, we're going to talk about supplements and what Leiah uses at home, what I use at home. I'm really proud because a lot of mine are Coach Leiah approved. I appreciate that. And we'll get into that and more when we come back right here on Vedgecation.
Welcome back to Vedgecation. So we wanted to talk about supplements that we're taking every single day. I think there's some misnomers on, do vegans have to take supplements?
Yes.
If you're plant-based, do other people that aren't vegan have to take supplements?
How do you tell if it's good? How do you tell if it's vegan? What ingredients you should look out for?
Yes. And the answer is most people have to take supplements. Why? Because our soil is depleted, we are not getting as many nutrients from our food, and most of us have really terrible guts, so we're not absorbing the food that we're eating anyways, which leads to mineral deficiencies, vitamin deficiencies.
So vegan, not vegan, we
Doesn't
all
really
probably
matter.
need supplements. So you recommend a daily multivitamin, B12, vitamin D. What do you think that we should be taking every single day?
Yeah, so the big ones I would say for plant-based, right, are going to be D. D is just a big one for everyone. This is one of my favorites. This is Alicia Silverstone's line.
Is it not Alicia?
I don't think it is. I think it's
Alicia. Can
Alicia?
you call us and tell us how to say your name? We love your supplements, by the way.
Just call me. Don't call her. She can't say her name.
She's going to call whoever said it right.
I know. So My Kind Organics, it is USDA organic, and it's coming from a whole food source, which I love. Our body loves to get nutrients from food.
Yes.
So this is a whole food source. This is a spray. This is 1,000 IUs per serving, so per spray. So if you are deficient, ask your doctor how many IUs you should be getting daily, and they can point you in the right direction.
So you mentioned this being a spray.
Yes.
Talk about the differences between taking a vitamin pill, taking a liquid vitamin, taking a vitamin by spray. How does our body absorb the different types of vitamins?
Yeah, it's going to be different. Again, so when you take a pill, what does your body have to do when you digest it?
Break it down.
Correct. So when you're taking a spray, hopefully we're going to absorb a little bit more nutrients by doing a spray versus that pill, depending on what our gut health looks like.
Okay.
But getting back to some other supplements that I think most plant-based people should take, definitely B12. I don't think I take it every day, but I at least take it once a week.
Okay.
Same spray, same company.
Yes.
Omegas are really, really important, omega-3s.
Okay.
Most people, like I said, are deficient, so doing some sort of quality omega-3 supplement can be really beneficial. My favorite on the market is actually by a company called Symbiotica.
Okay.
And theirs tastes like lemon pie. So
sign me up.
Thank you. It's so
Symbiotica,
delicious.
Thank you for personally designing this for me. I love you.
It's so good, and I love it. Okay. I actually have to stop myself from doing more pumps than I'm supposed to.
That's good.
Yeah. So not everyone needs to be on a daily vitamin, okay? Not everybody does. Specifically, a lot of people who are eating a balanced diet, their gut's doing really well, they may not need a daily vitamin.
But we did have a gut health episode, and so we talked to you guys about how to tell if your gut is functioning properly or if you have poor gut health. So if you know that your gut isn't functioning properly, then you might benefit from a daily multivitamin, like me.
So again, this is My Kind Organics, Alicia Silverstone's line. USDA organic, super, super great. And all of the ingredients in here are coming from a whole food source again. So these are the gummies. Another reason why I love these is they can act as a dessert after dinner at night, which I really love.
They taste so good.
They taste so good. So for my people with sweet tooth, it's almost like they get a treat when they get to take their gummies.
So speaking of, what is the serving size for these vitamins? 4.
Correct.
So I'm actually going to open it up. I'm going to take 4.
Not surprised.
Well, I'll take 2 because that's all that came out. But like, they're pretty sizable. Oh, like I said, they taste great.
Remember that sugar added.
I know. I couldn't even wait for the break. I need to take it while we're filming.
Yes.
So zinc.
Zinc.
Not necessarily something that you need to take every day, but during the pandemic, I think I reached out and I asked you, like, what's a good way to help build the boys' immunity? I had them taking elderberry, and then you had mentioned zinc as, like, good immune support.
For sure. And zinc is, again, it's going to be another thing that's very helpful for our skin. So someone who's really struggling with their skin health, battling things, they may have low vitamin levels of zinc.
Okay.
Again, it goes back to your gut, right? So when we're having gut problems, you're going to be low in a lot of nutrients. Iron's usually going to be one of them.
Yeah.
Vitamin D. Zinc may be one of them. Magnesium may be one of them. You know, there's so many critical vitamins and minerals that we're just not getting because the diversity isn't there. We're not absorbing things. And so that's why a lot of us are forced to go to the supplement market, which is not regulated. There is no one saying, don't put that supplement out. It has nothing of value in it.
Yeah. So most of the stuff up here is My Kind by Alicia Silverstone, who I love. This is Mary Roos. Tell me what you know about Mary Roos and whether or not you think that this is a good quality supplement, because I'm not sure. It says vegan, but I don't see USDA organic on here.
It's definitely not organic. I will say that from what I know of Mary Roos company, I love her message. I love her branding. I do wish it was organic. Just looking at the ingredients, it has organic glycerin. I'm not a fan of glycerin. I don't want it in my toothpaste, so I definitely don't want it in my zinc.
Okay.
So for that reason, I probably wouldn't do this one again. But we're going for progress, not perfection, 100%. And, you know, that is one thing I will tell you guys is if you are trying to buy supplements in the store, it's going to be very difficult. Most of the quality companies are selling directly through their own website, some of them on Amazon, but you're really going to struggle. I went to Target one day because I was just out of a supplement and I was like, let me see what I can find.
You didn't find what
I
you were
did not
looking
find
for?
anything.
Can I tell you, if you did, because Target actually does have Alicia Silverstone's brand in their store, you're going to pay about a 45% upcharge.
Correct. So you are going to pay more. And then the other thing is too, you know, some people do have a little bit of a beef with Garden of Life because it is owned by Nestle now. So I did want to speak on that. I understand that, but I still really support Alicia Silverstone. I still support what she did with this line, which is why I still support this company.
So I have this one up here. This is turmeric. Not necessarily something I take every day, but it's an inflammatory response gummy.
Yes.
And you know, inflammation, you've talked to me a lot of times about inflammation in the body. Can you talk about like what this does? Do you recommend it? And any tips about taking turmeric for inflammation?
Yeah, and I think we talked about the tofu scramble, right?
Yes.
And how most people use turmeric in their tofu scramble every day. Turmeric is amazing, so many benefits in the body. Immediately when I look at a turmeric supplement, I'm looking at the back to make sure there is, oh, and here it is, organic black pepper. That is what is needed to activate that enzyme. So again, as things get really popular, the supplements get worse. So go with brands that you trust. Check out the ingredient list. If you're unsure, contact me. I can always help you out. And we'll be right back after a break.
All right, guys, how much fun did you have on this episode of Vedgecation? I'm so sad that it's coming to an end. We do have to wrap it up, but
It's because you need more gummies.
it's because I want to leave, get out of here, and binge on some gummies. We talked about supplements. We shared some of what we feel like are some of the best ones out there. We talked so much about water, how to figure out if your water is quality water. We did a little throwback to Erin Brockovich and
Yes, we did.
got into some regulatory things, which are, you know, who do we need to, like, is there a letter I can write? I feel like the laws should be different now.
Well, I would say I would highly recommend anyone who wants to get involved donating to EWG. They are doing a lot of the hard work.
Okay.
This is part of their mission. So they're, again, an organization I represent about, 100 times a day.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Because I support their work so much.
Okay. So that wraps things up. Are you feeling Vedgecated?
I am feeling Vedgecated.
Me too.
I'm also feeling like I need to replenish my supplements. So please tell people where they can find us on the socials so we can wrap up the show.
Absolutely. You can find Vedgecation on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. And then if you prefer me over Leiah, you can contact me directly at the Brit Jones on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And I guess if you like Leiah better, you can find her, Coach Leiah R, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We're everywhere.
We are everywhere. So you won't even have time to miss us. We will see you on the next episode.